Chapter 226. Did she really want her son to follow in his father's footsteps? Was a marriage without love a happy ending? Did she feel happy right now? No, what she felt now was coldness. It was the despair of marriage and life. Song Shiyu suddenly couldn't figure it out. She hung up the phone and went to call the doctor. She followed the doctor to the ward. The doctor opened Zhou Heilan's eyes and she woke up. She held Gu Lingqing's hand and begged weakly, "Don't go." The doctor looked at Gu Lingqing. The patient's physique is very poor. Because of the massive blood loss, her blood sugar is very low. In addition, she already has mental problems. Don't agitate her. Gu Lingqing looked at Zhou Heilan. Zhou Heilan smiled. I'm sorry to make you worry. I'm a little hungry now. What breakfast did you and your wife bring? I want to eat it now. Is that okay? Gu Lingqing untied the plastic bag and opened one of the boxes of soup dumplings. Then he handed the chopsticks to Zhou Heilan. Why did you buy so many? Do you think I'm a pig? Zhou Heilan said with a bitter smile. Xiaoya also bought my mother's. Gu Lingqing said with a deep voice. Then he moved Zhou Heilan's bed so that she could sit. Sister Xiaoya is really considerate, Zhou Heilan said softly. She's younger than you, but she's more mature. He put a box of soup dumplings on the dining table on the bed. Song Shiyu frowned and looked down. Gu Lingqing took a pair of chopsticks and gave them to Song Shiyu. You eat some too. You've been busy since yesterday. You must be hungry. Song Shiyu took a chair and sat down in front of the bedside table to eat. Zhou Heilan was eating the soup dumplings obediently. From time to time she would look at Gu Lingqing helplessly. Then she would lower her head and eat the soup dumplings carefully, as if she was afraid of making Gu Lingqing unhappy. Gu Lingqing picked up her phone and glanced at the time. She turned around and walked towards the door. Zhou Heilan paused with his chopsticks. A sinister gleam flashed across his eyes. It seemed that the situation had already gone out of her control and had become out of hand. Where are you? Gu Lingqing called Baiye the moment he left the house. I'm strolling in the garden behind the hospital. Baiye smiled. I'm coming to find you now. After saying that, Gu Lingqing hung up the phone and walked to the elevator quickly. Baiye sat alone on a chair in the garden, thinking about psychological problems. Most people with psychological problems don't know that they have psychological problems. Even if they know that they have psychological problems, they can't control themselves when they act up. Just like her, she only knew that her illness was acting up after her illness acted up. But Zhou Heilan was different. She knew what she was doing and the purpose of every step she took. She was more organized. She even knew when to compromise and when to say what to say. She could control her emotions very well. This was not normal. She changed too quickly. In the right environment and the right situation, she could make reasonable adaptations. These were more like ordinary people. They were very smart ordinary people. She closed her eyes and thought that she was Zhou Heilan. Zhou Heilan's node was Gu Lingqing. She loved Gu Lingqing deeply. She couldn't leave Gu Lingqing. There was only Gu Lingqing. She relied on him. She felt very inferior and was afraid of being abandoned. Then she would put all her vigilance on the women around Gu Lingqing. As long as a woman appeared, she would collapse hysterically. She would do abnormal behaviors that were different from ordinary people. Most of their expressions were crazy and irrational. They were easily stimulated. Their emotions were more intense, and their behaviors were not controllable. But after she appeared, Zhou Heilan didn't. She committed suicide in the middle of the night because Gu Lingqing wouldn't go. This was something that a mentally ill person could do. However, when she saw that Gu Lingqing said that he was married and wanted to follow her, she began to say that she was willing to be his sister and was willing to cooperate with the treatment. She began to play the pity card. This was not in line with the special characteristics of a mental patient. She suspected that Zhou Heilan was pretending to be mentally ill, just like she suspected that Zhou Heilan was the mole. However, Gu Lingqing also said that they had cooperated on several missions and they were all successful. This was obviously a clear agreement for Zhou Heilan. What went wrong? A dark shadow shrouded her in front of her. Baiye looked up and saw Gu Lingqing. What are you thinking about? You're all meditating, Gu Lingqing asked and sat down next to Baiye. I'm just thinking about it. I have nothing to do anyway. How is Zhou Heilan? Baiye glanced at Gu Lingqing and asked. She's fine. She fainted just now but she woke up again. She was having breakfast when I left. I think her emotions are much more stable now. Gu Lingqing was obviously relieved. Baiye smiled. What does the witness that you rescued do? To put it simply, he's like a messenger from Country S. He came to Country A with important resources. If something happens to him in Country A, Country S will misunderstand Country A and they won't have the resources. Therefore, the terrorist organization captured him to cause conflict between Country S and Country A and restrict the development of Country A. Gu Lingqing explained. Then why didn't the terrorist organization kill the politician and give you time to rescue him? Baya asked. I guess they want the resources from Country S. That's why they didn't kill the politician for the time being. To be more specific, since our mission is to rescue the politician, we didn't ask about anything else. By the way, speaking of this, I want to visit General Kai Qingyun soon. Kai Qingyun? Who is he? Baya didn't know these people. He used to be my chief. Because I lost part of my memory, I don't remember part of the mission. I should have been drugged by the enemy during the mission, so I had sex with you. I think there should be someone who knows. Maybe they can find out about our child. Moreover, General Kai Qingyun's hometown, Xuanhuan, is not far from Jinyang City. It's about a 2-hour drive. Xuanhuan City? Baya's heart skipped a beat. That was where Gu Lingqing met with an accident. A thought flashed across Baya's mind. Is your chief also Zhou Heilan's chief? Yes. Back then, Zhou Heilan, Su Haoran, and I were from the same military region, Gu Lingqing explained. Can you bring me along when you visit General Kai Qingyun in Jinyuan City? Baya asked. Gu Lingqing held her hand. Do you want to go? Baya nodded. I want to go. If I go to LV Xingzhou's house as a tutor, I said that I don't have to go on Saturday and Sunday. Okay. I'll look for you when I go. Let's go together. Gu Lingqing smiled and hugged Baya. Baya leaned on him and looked at the blue sky. If only they could find their child. Perhaps Gu Lingqing's parents wouldn't object to it. Chapter 227. At 9 o'clock, Baya persuaded Gu Lingqing to go back to the military. She went to the appointed place. It was still early. She took out a pen and started to design a psychological test. Her phone rang. It was a call from an unknown number. Judging from the area code, it should be from America. She answered it suspiciously and asked in English, Hello, who is this? Are you the psychologist, Baya Miss Bai? I'm an heir's assistant. She has some problems and wants to consult you. We'll charge you according to the time of the conversation, the assistant said. Baya knew an actress called Inata. She was a controversial actress. She was beautiful and had a good family background, but her acting skills were lacking. Sure. Give her the phone, Baya said gently. Hello, doctor. I'm Inata. I feel like I'm about to collapse. I need your help, said dispiritedly. I'm glad to help you. What kind of problem is bothering you? Baya asked politely. My new movie has been on the air for a week. The ratings are okay, but many people are scolding me under the video. Some say that they want to quit the movie because of me, some say that my acting skills are bad, and some say that I'm a mistress who stole Brittany's husband. Brittany's husband and I are just talking because we're filming. We don't have a real relationship. They're slandering me maliciously and talking nonsense. Now the movie is the most popular one. My acting skills have been recognized by many professionals, but they're scolding me on Weibo and WeChat, saying that my acting is superfluous and asking me to leave the entertainment industry. Some even throw eggs at my door. I'm in so much pain that I don't know what to do, complained. I remember that there was a time when you registered a secondary account to attack these haters. It was exposed and pushed you to the top of the wave, Baya said in a good tone. That's because I played a drug addict. They attacked me, saying that I was a prostitute and had sex with the director and producer. I was furious, but I couldn't attack him directly, so I registered a smurf account to vent my anger. I feel like I'm going to collapse. I don't know how much longer I can hold on. These days, I've been suffering from insomnia and hair loss. My mental state is very bad. I'm afraid of going out and filming TV. I've even thought of committing suicide. My friend introduced me to you and said that you can help me. Nir said while sobbing. Before I help you, let's talk about the history of the entertainment industry. A long time ago, before television, many scripts were known to people through stage performances. For example, the most famous one was Broadway. Actors earned money through tickets and tips. There were very few people who could afford tickets, and only the rich could afford them. Many actors, in order to live a wealthy life, would try their best to get the favor of the nobles and the rich. To put it bluntly, it was said that they were relying on rich people. Those tycoons might be married men or they might be playboys. What they needed to bear were their own emotional twists and turns. They rarely faced the pressure of public opinion because not many people knew about these dirty things. Gradually, with the advent of television and newspapers, actors became well known to most people. Their every move would be watched. If they did something wrong such as breaking up a family or taking drugs, they would be attacked by the public and even condemned by the public. Later, with mobile phones, the internet, and Weibo, the exposure rate of stars was very high. The money they earned was also hundreds or thousands of times more than before. Similarly, their every move, even smoking a cigarette on the road, was magnified without limit. They became people who abandoned themselves to depravity. For these people who received attention, opening a smurf account was equivalent to being shady, picking one's nose was equivalent to having a bad character, and being in love was equivalent to committing a crime. Do you agree with what I said? Baya said softly. That's right. What you said is not wrong at all. Last time I scolded an anti-fan. This anti-fan attacked me innocently, saying that I was shameless and a psychopath. I asked him to keep his mouth clean. This message was cut out of the major networks and I became the target of attack. They thought that I was wrong, not the anti-fan. I was so angry that I couldn't sleep the whole night. Nir said while crying. Where are the people who attacked you? How old are they? Are they also aggressive people in real life? Are they mentally ill? You don't even know these. Is it worth it to be angry just because someone said that you don't know anything? I'm just angry that they spouted nonsense without knowing anything. They attacked me randomly and twisted the truth. I'm worried that it will affect my fans. What if no one likes me anymore? What if they abandon the show because of me? What if the investors don't want to look for me? I'll feel guilty too. Will it ruin a good show? Nir said sadly. First of all, your worries are unnecessary. There is a difference between those who are close to them and those who are distant from them. For example, as I said above, actors who have less exposure will bear less pressure from public opinion. Actors who have more exposure will bear more pressure from public opinion. Working in the same company, if the boss gives the same resource to employee A, employee A will think that the boss is good. Employee B who doesn't get the resource will think that the boss is bad. Your situation is the same. You have tens of millions of fans. Everyone has different upbringing, personality, and environment. Some people are too depressed in their daily lives. They are short-tempered, dark, and paranoid. They can't vent their anger in real life. Anyway, the internet doesn't use their real names. If they see something bad about you, they will scold you 1,000 times more. You can see what kind of people they are from their irresponsible colleagues. Why do you have to feel sorry for these people who have no morals and are venting their frustrations? They are already unhappy. If you have tens of millions of fans, it's normal to have tens of thousands of haters. Most people can see the essence from the phenomenon. It can be reflected from the ratings. Baya comforted her. I'm more worried that the fans will think that what the haters said is true. Nir said worriedly. Your worries are unfounded. Let me put it this way. Those who are being slandered, attacked, and plotted against by despicable people will find my words very useful. Those with good self-restraint will find it not bad either. Perhaps it will be useful in the future. However, there will also be some people who will. There will be some people who will curse in a sharp and crazy tone. You can't change the way others curse. This depends on the person's upbringing. You can't change anything by worrying. Those who did not want this to be true would find all kinds of reports and small details to prove that they were not in love. When dealing with their own affairs because of their strong subjective consciousness and lack of rationality, they would often make incorrect judgments and decisions. Me too. So, sometimes, I also need to see a psychiatrist to get some advice. It's not a shameful thing, but I hope that I won't do anything wrong, right? It's really pleasant to chat with you. Moreover, you're very good at solving problems. I feel that I've been brainwashed by you. My friend really didn't introduce the wrong person. Thank you. Later, I'll transfer the money to you according to your fee of 10,000 yuan per hour. There's also a little tip. Thank you, Dr. Bai. Dr. Bai, said sincerely. The fee of 10,000 yuan per hour was just for LV Xingzhou. Your friend is? Baya asked suspiciously. Qing Jinrong. He said that he had seen a doctor here. He just talked with you for a while and he was cured by you. I'm in a good mood now. I'm going to work hard. That's all for now. I'm hanging up. Finally, thank you again, Dr. Bai. Nir said and hung up the phone. In front of Baya there was a black shadow. She looked up. Qing Jinrong smiled slightly and said politely, I didn't expect you to come so early. It's only 10 o'clock now. Can you sit down? Baya glanced at the seat opposite her. Qing Jinrong sat down opposite her and pressed the server button. I want to ask, are you deliberately giving my friend the cold shoulder because of psychological strategy? First, if his son's problem was solved by someone, it would have been solved by now. Second, according to his current treatment method, his son's condition will only worsen, and he will still feel annoyed. Third, this son is his only son. He values him more than his life. So, no matter how expensive I am, he will come to me one day. I'm not using psychological strategy. I'm just sure. Fourth, lowering the price will destroy the expert's aura. If you're too polite to him, it's all for money. He will look down on you. The more impolite you are to him, the more trustworthy he will feel. Baya analyzed. What if you can't cure him after 3 months? Qing Jinrong was a little worried for Baya. Don't you have confidence in me? Baya said confidently. Qing Jinrong's phone rang. He saw that it was a call from the United States and answered. Qing Jinrong, your friend is amazing. After listening to her words, I suddenly saw the light. My mood is very good and my appetite is very good. I'm not angry when I met the person who sprayed paint on my car just now, Near praised. If you have friends with psychological problems, remember to introduce them to her. We're all friends and we should help each other, Qing Jinrong said righteously. Baya took a sip of coffee. She had a good impression on Qing Jinrong. She was generous, loyal, responsible, and enterprising. She used to have some obsessive-compulsive disorder, but now it seemed that she had recovered. The speed of treatment depended on the patient's ability to understand. When are you leaving? Baya asked. This time, I mainly came to bring Governor Liu here. After you've finished your discussion, I should be able to leave, right? The waiter came up. A cup of mocha, thank you, Qing Jinrong said politely. Do you have a project in the hands of Governor Liu? Baya guessed. How do you know? Qing Jinrong was very surprised. Your attitude towards Liu Xingzhou is a little more flattering and cautious, and you always follow Liu Xingzhou's wishes. Previously you said that you have your own company. If he is not a subordinate, then he must have a project in his hands, Baya analyzed. You're too smart. Now there is a very good piece of land in Jianghu City for sale, but Xinjiang Construction Company is competing with me. If Governor Liu can help me, the possibility of me getting it is very high. Baya frowned and asked suspiciously, what's so good about that piece of land? Qing Jinrong hesitated. Baya could see his concerns. You don't have to say it if you don't want to. Chapter 229. Baya chuckled. It's dangerous just because I know. How is that possible? Are you a spy? Qing Jinrong didn't say anything. He just smiled politely with a hint of aloofness and vigilance. Baya knew that he wouldn't say anything, so she didn't ask any more. She lowered her head and took a sip of coffee. The atmosphere suddenly turned cold. It was very strange. Qing Jinrong cleared his throat. Do you know anything about history? When I was studying psychology overseas, there was a class that specifically talked about the history of both domestic and foreign countries. The main point was to judge a person's character from history and the direction of fate. What? Do you like to study history? Baya asked casually. My ex-girlfriend's father likes it. He's an expert in this field. His main contribution is to study the geography of ancient times. Using the Song dynasty as an example, he can restore the map of the Song dynasty, where the battles took place, and where the important events took place, Qing Jinrong explained simply. A map from Tengqian village flashed across Baya's mind. Maybe his ex-girlfriend's father was an expert in this field. Wait, Qing Jinrong and LV Xingzhou knew each other. LV Xingzhou should have that map, and LV Xingzhou might know Qing Jinrong's ex-girlfriend's father. Then, could the land that Qing Jinrong wanted to buy be the place where the treasure was hidden on the map? This thought made Baya a little excited. She wanted to tell Gu Lingqing her guess immediately. Her hand holding the coffee cup was trembling. She tried her best to calm herself down and said respectfully, there are specializations in every field. It's very normal for there to be people who are especially skilled in every field. I remember there's a platform that specializes in antique appraisals. Many people will take their antiques to appraise to see if they're real or fake, and how much they're worth in the market. I saw that the experts were very sure that they could see through it with one look. They're really good. Silly girl, this is for the effect of the show. Those things have already been studied by the experts for a few days before they were presented, Qing Jinrong said with a smile. That's already very impressive. They know the characteristics of the items from different dynasties. I was thinking that if these experts went to make an imitation, they might be able to pass it off as the genuine one. Baya chatted casually, dispelling the other party's guard. A lot of the real things have been sealed up and are only displayed in museums or exhibitions. These are the replicas made by the experts. But a lot of the craftsmanship has been lost. Not only are they replicas, they are also exactly the same. Baya sipped her coffee. You've done some research on this? You like antiques? I like it. I think it's very interesting. With these antiques, I feel like I've returned to that era. I also wonder if I was the owner of these antiques in my previous life. Where were these antiques placed in the past? What were they used for? Why were they placed among the funerary items? What did they represent? Qing Jinrong asked calmly. What kind of girl do you like? Judging from your description, you shouldn't be talking about porcelain, right? Baiya probed. I prefer something special. Qing Jinrong took out a jade pendant that he was wearing and placed it on the table. Do you know who wore this before? Baiya saw that the jade was very exquisite and the carvings on it were very special. She was dazzled. Who was it? Panin, Qing Jinrong said confidently. Baiya laughed. Panin was guilty of treason. His entire family was implicated. It's impossible for such a valuable jade pendant to be buried with him. You've been cheated. You might not know this, but Panin was an outstanding person with good taste in clothes. He had many friends and was extremely talented. He also liked to parade the streets. One day he went out and bought this jade pendant. He had been wearing it ever since. However, because Taifu Yangjun was killed, he was implicated. He asked someone to bring the jade pendant to his good friend, Gong Sunhong. Gong Sunhong saved him and the jade pendant has been with him ever since, Qing Jinrong explained. Baiya shrugged her shoulders. If it wasn't an antique buried with him, who would wear it? Since Qing Jinrong was so sure if she said no, it would be a disappointment. Have you ever imagined yourself to be Panin? Qing Jinrong was a little embarrassed. I feel that he was the most wrong person. The record said that he was extremely beautiful, but he was impulsive and liked to curry favor with those in power. That's wrong. Baiya nodded. I agree with your point of view. From a few examples I can see that. First, Yangjun was killed. He had foresight. He didn't want to be implicated. This shows that he wasn't impulsive. His mother was gravely ill. When he resigned from his position, he said that if he couldn't even take care of his mother, what was the use of wealth? He was recorded in the 24 filial sons, but it was later removed. Third, he had a wife. When his wife died of illness, he was only 32 years old. He was in the prime of his life and his career was flourishing. He became an official and lived a wealthy life, but he did not marry a wife, nor did he take a concubine. He was single for 18 years, which showed that he was very important. This shows that he valued relationships and was infatuated. He was a rare man. Qing Jinrong clapped his hands. He felt like he had found a confidant. You and I are thinking the same. However, because he was guilty of treason when he was recorded in the history books, the emperor couldn't say that he was good. The emperor didn't want to record him in the history books and even removed his name from the 24 filial sons. Pass it on. However, Panin's reputation was too good. The common people, unofficial history, and local calendars all described him perfectly. The emperor had no choice but to let people write it like this. It was just a few words. He didn't dare to say too much, afraid that he would make mistakes. It's like this. The winner takes all. If he succeeded, it would be a positive word. If he failed, it would be a negative word. Isn't there a few famous stories about Zhu Yuanzhang? Heroes are afraid of old men. After he became the emperor, people who knew him in the past came to seek refuge with him. They said that they were miserable in the past and were all beheaded. They said that if they were strong and righteous, they would be promoted. Baiya agreed. The coffee in the cup was finished. Qing Jinrong looked at Baiya with a different gaze. It was filled with excitement, joy, and excitement. It was as if he had been looking for a long time and finally found a girl who was compatible with him. He could see her in his eyes and didn't feel annoyed. How are you and your husband? Qing Jinrong asked with concern. Pretty good, Baiya said simply. She had confided in a stranger because he was a stranger. When this stranger tried to enter her life, she rejected him. Baiya looked at her phone and changed the topic. Looks like I'm too late. Chapter 230. From Qing Jinrong's words, Baiya could sense that he might know a lot of things. I only do what I'm supposed to do, Baiya said meaningfully. That's good. I suddenly regret introducing him to you. Qing Jinrong's words carried a hidden meaning. Baiya did not ask why. She had a vague feeling that her previous judgment was correct. LV Xingzhou arrived after 11 p.m. With a face full of smiles, he was much more polite to Baiya. I'm sorry. I was meeting a friend. There was a traffic jam on my way here. That's why I'm late. Get to the point, Baiya said concisely. I agree with your suggestion. May I know when Madame Bai will be able to go to Jianghuan City? LV Xingzhou asked politely. You live in Jianghuan City? Baiya was surprised. Jianghuan City was not a provincial capital. Jianghuan is my hometown. My wife and children live there. I only go back on weekends. But when I go to Jianghuan City I'll be staying longer, Xianxia explained. I understand. You can leave tomorrow. I'll go to the research institute to draft the contract. Please wait for me. I hope that the first sum of money will be in my account before I leave, Baiya said. Sure. Let's go to the research institute now, Xianxia said with a smile. Baiya looked at Xianxia suspiciously. His attitude today was very different from before. Logically speaking, it shouldn't be like this. Wasn't he going to discuss it in detail? Or was there another reason? Baiya brought Xianxia to the research institute. The main reason she went to Xianxia was to tell him that she was from the research institute to lower his guard. Xianxia did not get out of the car. Instead, he waited for Baiya in the car. Baiya went into her office and printed out the contract for Xianxia to sign. He signed his name without hesitation. Do you want to have lunch together? Xianxia invited. It's fine. I'll be heading to Jianghuan City tomorrow. There will be plenty of opportunities for me to eat with you in the future. I need to go back and pack some stuff, so I won't be able to accompany you, Baiya said in a distant manner. That's true. Then I'll see you in the future. I'll arrange for someone to transfer the money to you. After Xianxia finished speaking, he lowered the black window and drove away. Baiya watched him leave and was about to drive the car Gu Lingqing had left for her to the military base. His cell phone rang. She looked at the caller ID and answered, Hello, who is this? Baiya, hello. I'm xuanhuan. Can you come to the hospital at noon? I want to see you, xuanhuan said softly. Baiya's lips twitched. Sure, see you later. She wanted to see why xuanhuan was looking for her. Could it be that he wanted to start with her? She drove to the hospital. Songshi was not there. There were 2 nurses in the hospital. Go and get me lunch. Xuanhuan deliberately sent the nurses away. The nurses tactfully went out. Have a seat, xuanhuan said softly. Baiya sat down on the chair quietly. Xuanhuan looked at Baiya from head to toe. When I was imprisoned by the enemy, I was wondering if Qing would forget about me and fall in love with another woman. It seems that a woman's intuition is very accurate. You're younger, prettier, better built, and more cultured than me. I admit my defeat. Don't think too much. The most important thing for you now is to recuperate. Everything will be fine. There's one thing that I don't know who else can help me other than you. Xuanhuan lowered her eyes. Baiya looked at her. She did not think that she had any ability other than to help Xuanhuan psychologically. She was very guarded against Xuanhuan. Xuanhuan saw that Baiya did not respond to her, so she looked at Baiya worriedly. Can you promise me that you won't tell anyone? Baiya nodded. Tell me. When I was imprisoned by the enemy, I was often gang raped by them until I got pregnant. Xuanhuan paused for a moment. They asked me to give birth to the child and then identify whose child it was. What about the child? Baiya frowned and asked. When I was rescued together with the child. I don't know where it is. I don't dare to let anyone know that it's my child. Firstly, I don't have the ability to raise it. Secondly, I feel very embarrassed. I don't dare to let Qing know that I gave birth to a child, and it's a child that I got. So, what do you need my help with? Baiya looked at Xuanhuan suspiciously. Help me find that child and then adopt him. After interacting with you, I feel that you are a very reasonable person. If you raise the child, he will definitely be very outstanding. Don't tell him that I'm his mother. Xuanhuan lowered her head. Baiya looked at her. She actually could not see through Xuanhuan at all. What was the purpose of Xuanhuan telling her about this? I understand. I will try to find out, Baiya replied. Thank you. Can you not tell anyone about this? Xuanhuan begged again. Baiya nodded. Don't worry. Xuanhuan got up from the bed and kowtowed to Baiya 3 times. Thank you for helping me regardless of the past. I am relieved that you are taking care of the child. I won't ruin your relationship with Qing, I swear. Get up. Take care of yourself. Baiya helped Xuanhuan up and laid her down on the bed. I'm going to Jianghuan City for a business trip tomorrow. I'll be away for about 3 months. I'll see you when I'm back. Xuanhuan nodded. Thank you. Baiya turned around and walked towards the door. Suddenly she turned around and looked at Xuanhuan. Xuanhuan was stunned. What's wrong? Baiya shook her head and walked out of the ward. If she was not mistaken, Xuanhuan was staring at her back with a sharp gaze. She suddenly turned around. Xuanhuan did not have time to react. She was startled and panicked. Since the child's matter was a trap, she would deal with it coldly and observe the situation. Xuanhuan frowned. She watched as Baya walked away. She got up from the bed and made sure there was no one outside. She made a call and said angrily, Baya is an expert in psychology. She is meticulous and has a strong analytical ability. There's no way to fool her. Moreover, Gu Lingqing listens to her. She's very difficult to deal with. You want to back out? I can arrange for you to leave immediately. I don't need incompetent people here. Of course not. I've been away for too long. Give me more time. Zhou Hailan requested. Baya will be going to Jianghu City tomorrow for 3 months. Think about what you're going to do. Also, unless I give you an order, don't contact me unless necessary. I'm hanging up. Zhou Hailan deleted the message in annoyance. Baya got into the car and called Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing picked up. She did not mention anything about Zhou Hailan. If the enemy did not make a move, she would not make a move. Gu Lingqing, I was chatting with Qing Jinrong today. I found out something important. Chapter 231. Baya was speechless. She was speechless for a moment. Not really. Let's get down to business first. He has an ex-girlfriend. Her father is an ancient geologist. She knows LV Xingzhou. Now, the administrative construction company and his company are fighting over that piece of land. I suspect that it is the location of the map of Tangqian village. Baya told him everything. His ex-girlfriend? He doesn't have a girlfriend now. Gu Lingqing said darkly. Baya exhaled. He should have a girlfriend by now. I'm not that familiar with him. Besides, I'm already married to a married man, and it's a military marriage. Don't you think too much? It's good that you know who you are. I will keep an eye on that piece of land and expropriate it. None of them will get it, Gu Lingqing said straightforwardly. Baya smiled. One more thing. I'm on my way back to the military. I'll leave for Jianghu City tomorrow. LV Xingzhou's hometown is in Jianghu City. I'm going there to be a home tutor for his child. I'll be there on Monday and Friday. Our meeting might be on Saturday. Sunday. Well, that's fine. I'll be worried if I leave you there for 3 months. She didn't understand what Gu Lingqing meant. He wouldn't be worried if he left her there for 3 months. Why did he say that it was fine? She said, Ha. Gu Lingqing was as serious as ever. He said in a deep voice, I'll go there to accompany you. Baya's heart was beating fast. She was going to Jianghu City for 3 months. She was worried. After all, Gu Lingqing was in the military. Zhou Hailan was also in a city. Moreover, Zhou Hailan was good at deceiving people and had special privileges to go to the military. She was worried. After all, she was a woman. She didn't have the magnanimity to put her husband and her first girlfriend together. Hearing Gu Lingqing's words, her heart was filled with sweetness. What about your business in the military? Can you leave? Baya asked worriedly. Didn't you say that the piece of land is a treasure trove? I definitely have to station troops. The past 3 months have been normal. It's a normal company business trip, Gu Lingqing explained to lighten her mental burden. Baya was very touched. She hesitated whether she should tell Fu Huang about Zhou Hailan. After thinking about it carefully again, he decided to wait and see what would happen. Then I'll hang up first. We'll talk when we get to the military base. Baya hung up and her phone rang again. Seeing that it was Su Jiran, she hesitated for a moment before answering. Where is it? Let's have a meal together today, Su Jiran said with a smile. Su Jiran, there's something I want to tell you. My marriage registration with Gu Lingqing hasn't been cancelled. I'm his legal wife now, and it's a military marriage. I can't get a divorce. So if you really like me, let me go. I don't want to add more troubles. Life is not easy, Baya said straightforwardly. Then he cut off all his fantasies. Su Jiran was silent for a moment and then smiled. What if I ask you this time to talk about your child? I found the child of you and Gu Lingqing. Really? Baya didn't believe it. Nowadays, the identification technology is so scientific. I can't lie to you even if I want to. Between the son and Gu Lingqing, you can only choose one. In our wedding room, I'll wait for you. See you in an hour. If you don't come, don't think about seeing the child in the future. I'll also disappear from your life completely, Su Jiran said. After that, he hung up. Baya stared straight ahead. Her hands were still in a motionless position. Her mind was in a momentary confusion. She stopped the car by the roadside and many chaotic thoughts flashed through her mind. She wanted to go to Su Jiran's place first, but she was worried that if she went there, Su Jiran might use force. If she didn't go, she was worried that she would really miss the opportunity to see the child. Another possibility was to tell Gu Lingqing to find out the whereabouts of the child. If he dared to do anything to the child, she and Gu Lingqing would not let Su Jiran off. But she didn't dare to risk losing the child. Although she had to choose between the child and Gu Lingqing, she and Gu Lingqing were married to a soldier, and they couldn't get a divorce. She had a buffer time. Now her mind was in a mess. She called Su Jiran. Su Jiran picked up the call. A childish voice sounded, "Hello," Uncle said, "Are you my mother?" Baya's heart sank. She was even more confused. "Baby, how old are you?" 5.5. "Mother, don't you even know how old I am? Are you my mother?" Xiao Bao's baby questioned. Baya felt extremely guilty. "Baby, can you give the phone to Uncle?" Su Jiran picked up the call. "Su Jiran, can you show me what the baby looks like? How can you be sure that he's my baby?" Baya questioned. "I've checked your paternity test. Of course I can do it," Su Jiran said with certainty. "I think you're lying to me. Where did you find Xiao Bao's baby?" Baya probed. "If you want to know the details, look for the answer yourself. Baya, I won't give you any extra time. I know Gu Lingqing's ability. Within an hour, if you don't arrive, I'll send your son to a place where you'll never find him again. Think carefully. If I find out that you've told Gu Lingqing, you'll never see your son again. Don't be so absolute. It doesn't mean that A is B, there are other choices, right?" Baya said anxiously. "There's no other choice. Son or Gu Lingqing. Think carefully." Su Jiran hung up the phone without hesitation. Baya took out her notebook and wrote on the paper for a long time. She wrote down the pros and cons. As the authority, she had lost her direction and walked into a dead end. Seeing the time passing by, she became more and more anxious. She hit the steering wheel heavily. She couldn't control her emotions anymore. She took out the medicine from her bag and poured it on her hand. At the same time, she made a decision. She might not be able to give birth to a beautiful baby in the future. She wanted her son. Gu Lingqing was very capable. He would definitely find her. He definitely would. Baya threw the medicine into her mouth and leaned on the steering wheel. She calmed herself down gradually and a sharp light flashed in her eyes. She called Lu Shuang. "Cool girl, one is your biological son and the other is your beloved husband. Between the two, which one will you learn?" Baya asked. Her purpose was to leave a vague message to Gu Lingqing. In this way it didn't count as telling Gu Lingqing, "There's only one son, but I can have many husbands. Of course it's my son. Moreover, my son is my own flesh and blood. He's definitely closer to me than a man." Lu Shuang said casually. "What's wrong?" Chapter 232. For safety's sake, she bought pepper spray and an electric baton when she passed by an appliance store. She placed them in her bag before heading to Su Jiran's villa. It took her an hour to get there. She keyed in the password and it was Xing Jinyan's birthday. It was ironic, wasn't it? The door opened and Baya walked in. Su Jiran was watching cartoons with a little boy on the sofa. Baya was shocked when she saw the child. It was a miniature version of her and he looked just like her when she was young. Su Jiran smiled devilishly and looked at Baya. "What are you waiting for? The dishes are in the kitchen waiting for you to make them. Lil, Tian and I haven't eaten yet." Lil, Tian looked at Baya. He looked at Baya and asked in a childish voice, "Are you my mummy?" Baya was stunned for a few seconds. She walked over to the little boy and squatted down in front of him. She was so shocked that her mind went blank as she looked at the little boy's face. Lil, Tian looked back at Baya and also looked at Baya. As he looked, his eyes turned red and tears flowed out. He said sadly, "Mummy, why didn't you come to find me?" Baya looked at the little boy's tears and her heart seemed to have been hit by something. Tears flowed out of her eyes. Her child was snatched away less than a week after he was born. She had wanted to protect her child from the start. Baya rubbed the little boy's head. "I'm sorry Mummy couldn't find you." Lil, Tian threw himself into Baya's arms and hugged Baya tightly. "Mummy, you found Lil Atan. You'll never abandon me again, right?" "Of course not. Mummy will take good care of you," Baya said with certainty. The little boy cried even more sadly. Mummy, I didn't have a good life in the past." When Baya heard the bad things that the little fellow said, her heart ached even more, and her heart was filled with sorrow. She was the one who brought the child to the human world. It was her fault for not protecting him properly that caused him to live such an unfortunate life. "Alright, you guys have a good chat. I'm going to the kitchen." Su Jiran walked towards the kitchen with a malicious glint in his eyes. Things had gone far out of his control. This was not good. He turned around and looked at Baya, who was smiling gently. Originally this woman was his. She would have given birth to several lively and lovely children for him. Their family should have been very happy. Su Jiran furrowed his brows. His expression was extremely ugly. He wanted to return to the past more and more, when she still loved him. Now, as long as he was given a chance, there was still time, right? Su Jiran walked into the kitchen. Tell me, how did uncle find you? Baya asked softly. Little Tian pursed his lips and cried again. Baya wiped away little Tian's tears. You've suffered a lot in the past. Now that you have me, I won't let you suffer any more. My adoptive parents adopted me. In the 3rd year, when I had a younger brother, they didn't treat me well. They sold me to human traffickers. They wanted to cut open my stomach and put poison in it. I escaped and have been wandering the streets ever since. I've been to many places, but I often don't have enough to eat. I can't sleep. I'm afraid I'll be caught again, little Tian said sadly. Only then did Baya realize that little Tian was very, very thin. His face did not have the luster of a 6-year-old child. Although he was dressed very well, probably because Su Jiran had changed him into good clothes. Baya did not dare to imagine what this little fellow would do in the winter when he had no money. Where do you sleep? Baya asked with a pained heart. I'm very smart. I sleep in KFC. It's open 24/7. There's heating in winter and air conditioning in summer. But they don't like me, so I walk to a different place every day. During the day I walk to beg for food. At night I sleep in KFC. The more Baya listened, the more her heart ached. Tears streamed down her face. She thought that her childhood was unfortunate. She spent a long time in the orphanage. But after her mother came out of the nursing home, she took her away. Before her illness, she had enjoyed a mother's love. When she was in the orphanage, she did not have to worry about clothes, food, or sleep. I'm sorry. It's all my fault. I didn't protect you well. It won't happen again, Baya said with tears streaming down her face. Come over and eat, Su Jiran shouted. Baya turned around in surprise. Didn't he say he didn't cook? Su Jiran smiled charmingly. His voice was very gentle and magnetic. Come over and eat. I'm just joking with you. The food was delivered. I'm just waiting for you to eat. You shouldn't have starved the child, Baya frowned and complained. Su Jiran's smile widened. How would I dare to starve your sweetheart? When I was waiting for you, I ate a cake. Baya was a little relieved. He held Lil Tian's hand and walked to the dining table. When he saw the dishes on the table, his eyes lit up. Thank you, Daddy Su, for preparing so much delicious food. It would be great if I could have so much delicious food every day. The child's wish was pure and simple. But Baya felt sour when she heard that. This was what other children had every day but did not cherish. It was indeed what this child desired from the bottom of his heart. Su Jiran smiled and picked up a drumstick for Lil Tian. Then from now on, you will be with Daddy Su and Mommy Su every day, okay? Okay. Lil Tian was so touched that he cried. Baya looked at the child lovingly. The tears in her eyes could not stop flowing. Su Jiran handed a napkin to Baya. Baya took the napkin and wiped Lil Tian's tears. She also wiped her own tears. Su Jiran held her hand. Xianxia, I know that this is the life you've been dreaming of. Children, a husband, a family. I can give you a warm home. You can see the changes in me, right? I've been waiting for you. I won't make any more mistakes in the future. We will be very happy. If you are willing to give birth to a child for me, we will have another child. Our love for Lil Tian will not diminish. If you don't want a child, we don't want one. I will treat Lil Tian as mine. Baya lowered her eyes. She had calmed down. She was a little emotional now. She did not want the child to see it. She stood up and walked to the washroom. Su Jiran followed and hugged Baya from behind. I love you. You know that I can give up anything for you. I can give up nothing as long as you are with me. Su Jiran confessed. Baya looked at him. The child is Gu Lingqing's. Can't you give it to me? A crack appeared in Su Jiran's eyes. His eyes were red and wet. Xianxia, I gave up my career and my enemies for you. Aren't you being a little too cruel to me? I gave the child to you and Gu Lingqing. What about me? Am I all alone? I can't. I have you. Chapter 233. Su Jiran was angry. He also felt heartache because of Baya's favoritism towards Gu Lingqing. He let go of her hand. Baya, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You want Gu Lingqing and the child at the same time. That's impossible. If you want Gu Lingqing, I won't give the child to you. I'll also tell Lil Tian that you chose love and abandoned him. Lil Tian is still young. You will traumatize him if you do this, Baya said anxiously. She could not help but hate Su Jiran's methods. Isn't this your choice? Love or family, you can only choose one, Su Jiran said. He was very determined as he stared at Baya. Baya stared back at Su Jiran. Her mind was spinning very quickly. Why couldn't she have love and family at the same time? That child clearly belonged to her and Gu Lingqing. She wanted to tell Gu Lingqing. Now that she knew what the child looked like with facial recognition with Gu Lingqing's ability, he would definitely be able to find Lil Tian. Baya's cloudy eyes gradually became clear. She had to leave now. She could not anger Su Jiran. She had to retreat safely. I need to think about it. Su Jiran smiled. Xiaoya, I know you too well. Your eyes tell me that you have already made up your mind. Now that you said you need to think about it instead of telling me your decision directly, it means that your decision is to choose Gu Lingqing. You're thinking that since Gu Lingqing is so capable, as long as you tell Gu Lingqing, you will definitely be able to find the child. Based on the child's appearance, you will definitely be able to find the child. Baya furrowed her brows. Su Jiran was too scary. He had analyzed her thoughts very thoroughly. She was a little annoyed. She studied psychology, but she didn't hide her thoughts well. Didn't you ask me to choose one of the two? Since you chose Gu Lingqing, I can only respect your choice. However, I will give the child plastic surgery and give him bone marrow replacement surgery. You know, as long as the bone marrow is replaced, the DNA will be changed, so you will never find him. He will still be resentful for the rest of his life. I hate your choice, Su Jiran said coldly and turned around. Baya grabbed his arm anxiously. You can't do this. The child is still young. This is too cruel. Su Jiran glanced at her, and there was no warmth in his eyes. You think I'm cruel to the child, but aren't you cruel to me? Why can't you imagine what you've done when you're talking about how cruel I've been to you? What did you do to me 3 years ago? In order to gain Xing Jinyan's favor, you tried to kill me many times. Have you forgotten all of this? Baya was emotional. When did I try to kill you? I told you that the person who kidnapped you would never hurt you. It was a trap set up by me. I wanted Xing Jinyan to trust me completely because I wanted to take revenge, but I didn't want you to die. Su Jiran was also emotional. What about the harm you've done to me? 3 years. I gave you 3 years of time. I watched the women around you change one after another. Do you know how I felt at that time? I was in purgatory every day, living a life worse than death. That's because I used my hatred for Xing Badian on you. I haven't seen through my feelings for you. In the 3 years that you were abroad, I kept myself clean because I knew that I was in love with you. You wanted me to castrate myself, so I castrated myself. I didn't care about sex at all, I only cared about you. Su Jiran raised his voice. Baya was angry and pushed Su Jiran hard. This choice of family and love made her break down. She picked up the hand sanitizer on the sink and smashed it on the ground. After smashing it on the ground, she was still angry. She then threw the napkin box on the sink on the ground. She still felt that she couldn't vent the anger in her heart and smashed the vase on the ground. She went into the bathroom. The shower gel, shampoo, and shaving lotion were all smashed on the ground. She still felt uncomfortable and punched the wall hard. Panic flashed in Su Jiran's eyes. He had seen this crazy state of hers from Baya's mother, Bai Bing. He rushed forward and hugged Baya. Baya struggled with brute force, but she couldn't get out. She turned her head and bit Su Jiran's arm. Su Jiran let out a muffled groan. Baya tasted the blood, but she still bit him hard. The door was pushed open. Xiaotian stood at the door and looked at the two people inside. He said in a childish voice, Daddy Su, Mommy, are you fighting because of my appearance? Daddy Su is the person who treats me the best, and I like Mommy too. If you fight because of me, I'll leave after dinner. Don't fight because of me. Baya paused and looked out of the door. The little fellow looked at them pitifully. Tears flowed down Baya's face, past her chin, and fell on Su Jiran's hand. She saw the blood on Su Jiran's arm and stained his white shirt. She also saw the mess in the room. She was stunned and a little absent-minded. She was acting up again. When she was emotional, she couldn't think at all. Her mind was blank. When she woke up, she didn't even know what she had done. Seeing that Baya had calmed down, Su Jiran let go of Baya, walked to Xiaotian, rubbed his head and said with a smile, Daddy Su and Mommy Tian didn't fight because of Xiaotian. It has nothing to do with Xiaotian. We are both happy to find Xiaotian. Xiaotian, be a good boy and go out for dinner. We'll have a good chat with Xiaotian's mommy. We'll have dinner with Xiaotian later. Can Daddy Su and Mommy Su not fight? Xiaotian asked. Daddy Su and Mommy Su don't fight. Look, Daddy Su is holding Xiaotian's mommy. Daddy Su promised Xiaotian that he and Mommy Tian will never fight. I will spoil and love Mommy Tian just like Daddy Su loves Xiaotian, okay? Su Jiran coaxed patiently. Xiaotian looked at Baya, ran over and hugged Baya. His small body only reached Baya's waist. Baya lowered her head and looked at Xiaotian. How could she bear to let him, who was not even 6 years old, continue to wander around? Just the thought of it made her heart ache. Tears continued to roll down her cheeks. Mommy, don't cry. I'll protect you when I grow up. Xiaotian looked at Baya with fear in his eyes. He was afraid of being abandoned. A child's eyes were innocent, and he didn't know how to hide his emotions. Baya caught his emotions and squatted down. She looked at Xiaotian and said, Xiaotian, go eat first. I want to talk to your daddy Su. Okay. Xiaotian, be a good boy. Xiaotian will go eat. I won't cause trouble for daddy and mommy. Xiaotian went out obediently and closed the door for them. Chapter 234. When did it start? Su Jiran asked worriedly. Her illness was similar to her mother's, so she did not want to hide it. After I committed suicide and was saved. You're a psychiatrist. Haven't you cured many patients? Su Jiran was confused. He did not believe Baya when she said that she was mentally ill and did not take it seriously. He was really scared just now. A doctor can't cure himself. I've tried to hypnotize myself many times, but I've failed. So, I always carry 2 kinds of medicine in my bag. One is sleeping pills and the other is chlorpromazine. Chlorpromazine is a sedative that is very effective for mania, but it has a lot of side effects. It's toxic and can only be excreted after 6 hours. So, I can't take it twice in a row within 6 hours, or it will cause high intraocular pressure and depression. So, I can't sleep for a long time and have severe insomnia. After using the sleeping pills for a long time, I'll become dependent. I don't think I'll live to old age. Even if I do, I'll have dementia. I won't know anyone and will be immersed in my own thoughts. I won't even know that I've lost control of my bowels. Even if you talk to me, I won't be able to hear you. It's more annoying than being in a vegetative state, Baya said calmly. Su Jiran's heart ached terribly. Baya was good at studying since she was young. Even when she went to university and had to work to earn money, she was still the first in her class and received scholarships every year. How could such a smart girl get dementia when she was old? He knew Bai Bing's situation. It can be cured, right? Su Jiran frowned. I don't know. Maybe the future is more advanced. The future is too far for me, so I never think about it. Baya took a deep breath and looked at him. Su Jiran, are you willing to give me the child? Su Jiran was furious. He held Baya's shoulder. Are you still stubborn? Who made you commit suicide? Who gave you this illness? It's not me, it's Gu Lingqing. If you stay with Gu Lingqing, your illness will worsen. Let me tell you, Zhou Hailan has a child too. The child belongs to Gu Lingqing. Baya's calm eyes wavered. What did you say? How is that possible? Zhou Hailan told me that the child was born after she was gang raped when she was imprisoned. Why do you think those people injected Gu Lingqing with an aphrodisiac 6 years ago? Gu Lingqing ran away and didn't have sex with Zhou Hailan, but he had sex with you. After those people went, they collected Gu Lingqing's J fluid and made Zhou Hailan pregnant. They wanted to have Gu Lingqing's child, so that they could use it to threaten Gu Lingqing in the future, Su Jiran said firmly. Baya's brain exploded. She staggered backward. Su Jiran didn't hold her hand tightly and she almost fell. She held onto the pool. She suspected that Zhou Hailan was lying when he said that he was raped. Zhou Hailan should know that the child belonged to Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing didn't know. So Zhou Hailan wanted to bring the child out through her hands. Then Zhou Hailan would say that she was raped and make Gu Lingqing feel guilty. She felt a headache just thinking about it. Gu Lingqing was a very responsible person. If Zhou Hailan had his child and was raped because of him, his decision might change. She couldn't bear his change. She would really go crazy and never wake up again. Suddenly, she didn't want to struggle anymore. She wanted to live a quiet life. She wanted a home, a place where she felt warm and cozy. A place where she knew where she should go after a busy day. I choose my child, Baya said gently. She lowered her eyes and let out a sigh. Su Jiran was emotional. He hugged Baya. I will take good care of you. I won't let you get hurt again. It's okay if you can't have children. We have little Tian and that's enough. Is Zhou Hailan a spy? Baya asked again. I don't think so. I've checked on her past. She completed many missions outstandingly. If she's a spy, It's impossible for her to work for the country and complete her mission smoothly. Why do you ask? Su Jiran didn't understand. Baiye's lips twitched. Because of prejudice. I don't think she's a good person. Instead, I think Xiahe is a good person. Moreover, Zhou Hailan lied to me. She should know that Gu Lingqing didn't have sex with her. She should have been raped. After she fainted, she was injected with Gu Lingqing's J fluid, Su Jiran explained. How do you know so clearly? It's as if you saw it with your own eyes? Baiye raised her doubts. I caught a fish that slipped through the net. He said everything, including the fact that the child is Gu Lingqing's. But Zhou Hailan was raped. They couldn't be sure whose child it was, right? Baiye was doubtful. That's because the people before him all used condoms. Of course, they could be sure that the child was Gu Lingqing's. Zhou Hailan fainted. They didn't know what happened after that. Then why didn't they let Zhou Hailan know that the child was Gu Lingqing's? Zhou Hailan should really want to give birth to Gu Lingqing's child. Weren't they afraid that Zhou Hailan would lose the child? Baiye still didn't believe that Zhou Hailan was a good person. It's not like that. Zhou Hailan was raped in the past. She was very afraid of being raped again. Therefore, the pregnancy was a protective umbrella for her. She wouldn't lose the child. On the contrary, she would protect the child well and not let herself be raped again. But if Zhou Hailan knew that the child was Gu Lingqing's, then she would know that those people wanted to harm Gu Lingqing. She loved Gu Lingqing very much. For Gu Lingqing, she would disfigure herself and burn herself to death. Therefore, she wouldn't keep the child. Since those people got Gu Lingqing's child, why didn't they let anyone else have the child? Why did they let Zhou Hailan have the child? Baiye scrutinized Su Jiran's eyes. That's because they thought that the child was Zhou Hailan's. That's why Gu Lingqing would have a special feeling of pity for the child. If the child was theirs, according to Gu Lingqing's upright and plain-spoken character, she wouldn't have been merciful. Su Jiran analyzed. Baiye's eyes flickered, and her eyebrows slightly furrowed. There was no logical flaw in what Su Jiran said. Perhaps she really had a prejudice against Zhou Hailan, so she misunderstood her and looked at this woman with prejudice. Since Zhou Hailan was a good person and not a spy, she was not worried that Gu Lingqing would be in danger. Su Jiran, can you give me some time? I'm already married to Gu Lingqing. I want a divorce first and then go with you. I'll only go with you for 3 years. After 3 years you can't force me to stay or leave. Can you agree? Baiye made the final negotiation. Chapter 235. I still have things to do. Give me 3 months. Baiye was very determined. She had given up halfway through many things. Her love for Su Jiran, her love for Gu Lingqing, and her work. Now that she had faked her death, she could no longer stay in City A. She wanted to do something to avoid leaving any regrets. Okay, I'll give you 3 months. I'll send little Tian away in 3 months. Baiye, don't do anything that you'll regret and don't let Gu Lingqing know about it. Otherwise there's no turning back. Su Jiran reminded her. Baiye nodded. I'm going back. I'll go to Jianghu City tomorrow. I'll send you back to the military base. Su Jiran opened the door of the washroom. It's okay. I can go back by myself. Baiye looked at little Tian. He sat on the chair obediently and looked at them like a child who was afraid of being abandoned. Baiye walked up and kissed little Tian on his forehead. I have some things to deal with. Little Tian, wait for me for a few months. From now on we won't be separated anymore. Little Tian jumped down from the chair and hugged Baiye. I have a mother now. I won't be bullied anymore. Even if I have to live under a bridge with you, I'll feel very happy. Baiye rubbed little Tian's head. I have money. I won't let you live under a bridge with me. I'll let you go to school, study, find a wife, and be a useful person. Okay. As long as you don't want little Tian, I'll listen to you, little Tian said in a childish voice. Baiye kissed little Tian on his forehead again and walked to the door. Su Jiran called a taxi. Baiye got into the car and left. She leaned on the chair in a daze. Her mind was filled with Su Jiran's words. 3 months later she would be with little Tian and live a peaceful and warm life. Perhaps this was the happiest life. Her phone rang. She saw that it was Gu Lingqing's call and picked it up. When will he arrive? Gu Lingqing asked softly. 1 or 2 hours. What's wrong? Baiye looked outside and tried to determine where he was. My mom asked you out for dinner. Since you didn't want to go, I rejected her for you. You can go, Baiye agreed. Previously, when she wanted to be with Gu Lingqing, she would think before she spoke and did things. Now that she was leaving, it didn't matter anymore. She didn't want to put Gu Lingqing in a difficult position. Then don't come back yet. I'll see you in 2 hours at the famous Jiangnan restaurant in Shuiyu International. Okay. Baya hung up the phone. Anyway, she didn't have much luggage. She could go back to pack after dinner. She first went to Shuiyu International and bought 3 sets of clothes, some cosmetics and a lipstick for Song Shiyu. After she bought it, she went to the famous restaurant in Jiangnan. Song Shiyu also happened to arrive, and the two of them bumped into each other. Baya nodded politely. Follow me. Song Shiyu maintained her arrogance and entered the private room. She passed the menu to Baya. Order whatever you like. I'm not particular about food. You can order. Baya passed the menu to Song Shiyu. Song Shiyu felt that the current Baya was a little strange. She didn't have the sharpness in the morning. She seemed a lot gentler. She frowned slightly and sketched on the menu. 3 minutes later, she passed it to the waiter. The waiter went out to place the order. Song Shiyu looked at Baya seriously. I've thought about what you said seriously. I'm sorry that my words were harsh. Baya took out the lipstick from her bag and placed it in front of Song Shiyu. This color of lipstick suits your temperament and skin color. I bought it when I went to buy cosmetics. I thought of you and bought it. I'm not good to you, Song Shiyu said coldly. When I'm angry, I'll think that you're not good to me. But when I look at things from your perspective, I realize that you've already done your best. You've sacrificed a lot for your family, for your husband, and for your child, Baya said gently. Song Shiyu narrowed her eyes and said defensively, You're trying to please me? Baya smiled. You invited Ling Qing and me to dinner and you came alone. You must be expressing your blessings for me and Ling Qing, or perhaps you have something to tell me. Pleasing me won't change your opinion of me. Psychology is really good. You can understand people's hearts and confuse men, Song Shiyu said in disdain. Actually, psychology can't confuse men. There's a scale in everyone's heart. It's just that you can understand each other's thoughts better than others, Baya explained. If I had the right to decide, I wouldn't choose you as my daughter-in-law. But Ling Qing likes you. Just like what you said, I don't want him to forget how to love when he has everything. When she said the last sentence, Song Shiyu was a little sad. Baya looked down. Song Shiyu had already agreed for her to be with Gu Ling Qing, but she couldn't stay with Gu Ling Qing forever. No one can tell what will happen in the future. You don't have to worry about it. Just do what you want to do. Or the more you do, the more mistakes you'll make. Forget it, Baya said meaningfully. Why do I feel that you're a little strange? I've agreed for you to be together, but you're putting on airs? Song Shiyu was a little angry. I'll take things as they come. Let nature take its course, Baya said lazily. The door was pushed open. Gu Lingqing walked in and saw that both Baya and Song Shiyu were there. Mom? After he greeted them, he sat next to Baya and held Baya's hand. He looked at Baya. Baya smiled. We came 10 minutes earlier than you. The dishes are already ordered. Okay, Gu Lingqing replied. When are you guys planning to have children? Song Shiyu went straight to the point. Yes, what's wrong? Gu Lingqing asked in confusion. I'm not old yet. When you guys have children, I can help take care of them. Let's have a wedding another day. Song Shiyu agreed with Baya. Gu Lingqing understood why Song Shiyu invited them to dinner. Thank you, Mom. I hope you guys can grow old together, Song Shiyu said plainly and looked at Baya. Baya didn't say anything. She lowered her eyes. Gu Lingqing's grip on her hand tightened a little. Baya looked at him. He smiled. Gu Lingqing rarely smiled. When he smiled, he looked exceptionally good. However, his smile was poison. It could directly poison her heart. It made her heart ache at the thought of separation. In the future, when she was gone, he would probably be with Zhou Hailan. It turned out that from the beginning to the end, she was the passerby, not Zhou Hailan. After dinner, it was still early. After Gu Lingqing put the clothes she bought in the car, he held her hand and went shopping in Shuiyu International, just like a normal couple. Chapter 236. Baya came back to her senses and glanced at Gu Lingqing. She was thinking that she and Gu Lingqing had gone through so many twists and turns and could not be together no matter what. Was it because she did not fulfill her promise to Tang Xiaojiu? After she left, would Gu Lingqing be with Zhou Hailan and forget her again? In the future, where would she go with little Tian after changing her appearance? As she thought about it, her thoughts became more and more erratic and she began to meditate. I was thinking about what happened in Tangqian village and I was a little absent-minded, Baya said with a smile. Gu Lingqing smiled and looked at her lovingly. I didn't expect my mother to agree to us being together so quickly. Your mother actually loves you. 3 years ago your father kidnapped me and your mother stopped him. If it wasn't for your mother, I might have died. She is not a bad person. She just thinks that you are more suitable for someone better, Baya explained generously. Time reveals a person's heart. They will realize that you are good and they will also know that you are the most suitable person for me. Baya did not say anything and held Gu Lingqing's arm. If there were only 3 months before she completely left, she would also love Gu Lingqing so that she would not have any regrets in the future. Lingqing, let's do a multiple choice question. You have been locked up in a room for several years. When you are about to leave, you can take one thing with you. What will you take with you? The choices are a teacup, a dog, the diary you have written all these years, a tape recorder. What is your answer? Baya asked casually. What do these things represent? You can ask me directly if you want to know. I will tell you. Other than military secrets, I will not hide anything from you. Gu Lingqing saw something wrong. I am just asking casually. Baya shrugged. You have known me for 6 years. You should know what kind of person I am and what my thoughts are. Testing is not suitable for us. Tell me, what is it? Your condition hasn't been right, Gu Lingqing asked directly. Lingqing, I'm just hypothesizing. If one day between your child and me you could only choose one, who would you choose? Baya asked. You. Gu Lingqing said without even thinking. What if you die without the child? Baya asked immediately. You. Gu Lingqing didn't even blink. Why? Baya was puzzled. Under the premise of a single choice, I can have many children. You only have one. In terms of feelings, I only have feelings for you. This single choice is easy for me to make. Xiaoyo, what about you? Gu Lingqing asked and looked at her with burning eyes. Baya was silent. Her eyes were complicated. She was afraid that Gu Lingqing would notice something, so she lowered her head. I don't know either. The child was taken away because of my negligence. If I don't want him anymore, he will be too pitiful. Your worries are not real at all. This child is also mine. How could I not want him? Little fool, what are you thinking in your head? You are worrying for nothing. Gu Lingqing flicked her forehead. Baya twitched the corner of her mouth. Since she had made a choice, she didn't want to be entangled in it. She saw the cinema in front. Let's go watch a movie together. You and I haven't had a good time watching a movie. Okay. Gu Lingqing said lovingly. What movie do you want to watch? I don't think it's literary. Science fiction. Baya stared at the screen and said. Okay. Gu Lingqing paid, bought a big bucket of popcorn and 2 cups of Coke and entered the cinema with her. The movie that Gu Lingqing chose was The Rise of the Opposite Sex. It was mainly about a spaceship that had an accident, passed through a black hole and landed on a foreign planet. There were aliens invading a human's body. It was a sci-fi thriller. She didn't really watch this kind of movie, but watching it with Gu Lingqing felt different. They were like a couple in love, sharing popcorn, watching a movie, and enjoying the sweet time of the two of them. She glanced at him. He was looking at the movie screen, and the colorful light emitted from the screen lit up his handsome side profile. Gu Lingqing felt her gaze and looked at her. What's wrong? Do you want to drink Coke? Baya smiled. I think you are better looking than the movie. Gu Lingqing's lips twitched. He hugged her shoulders and pulled her into his arms. Baya breathed in the clean and fresh scent on Gu Lingqing's body. She had thought it through very clearly. Within 3 months, she would try her best to find the murderer of Tangqian village and give Tang Xiaojiu an explanation. After she faked her death, she would never marry again, let alone fall in love with someone else. 3 years later, Su Jiran would let go of her. She would take good care of Gu Lingqing's child. True love was not possessiveness. She knew how to let go so that Gu Lingqing's life could be a little more relaxed. She had no regrets. After the movie, Baya sorted out her thoughts. She and Gu Lingqing were the last to leave. I'm a little hungry. Shall we go for supper? Baya invited. Sure. When are you leaving tomorrow? Gu Lingqing asked. I'll sleep until I wake up naturally. I don't have to work tomorrow anyway. I'm just on my way. I'll go to Xuanhuan the day after tomorrow. Tell me which hotel you're staying in after you check in. I'll book a few rooms around you. Gu Lingqing arranged. Sounds good. What do you want to eat tonight? Seafood, barbecue or food stalls? Baya asked, looking at the barbecue shop not far away with a smile. Let's have barbecue then. Gu Lingqing pulled her across the road. There were quite a lot of people eating barbecue. After they ordered, they sat in the innermost area. Baya also brought 2 bottles of beer and 2 disposable cups over. Gu Lingqing took them, opened the cap and poured the beer for Baya first. Baya looked at Gu Lingqing with infatuation. Although he didn't talk much and was usually cool, she felt that he was considered a perfect man. He gave people a calm and reassuring feeling. Gu Lingqing saw her eyes and cleared his throat. If you keep looking at me like this, I can't wait to go to the hotel. Baya laughed. He was actually quite humorous after being a man of few words. There were 5 people who massacred the village. Other than Governor Cheng LV Xingzhou and LV Liang City, who else do you think is involved? Baya changed the topic. I just checked. LV Xingzhou is very low-key. He doesn't even have much contact with LV Liang City. If there's someone special, it should be your father, Xing Bachuan. They met recently and chatted for a long time. It seems like they're old acquaintances, Gu Lingqing said awkwardly. Him? Baya smiled. It's not strange if he's one of the people who massacred the village. A person who could abandon his wife and feed her antidepressants would do such a crazy thing. Chapter 237. Baya's heart trembled violently. In other words, even if Zhou Hailan came to him with the child, he would still choose her, right? Unfortunately, she was the one who let go first. Even if they were not together in the future, he would still be the man she loved the most and the man she would love forever. Gu Lingqing, why do you like me? Didn't you say that I'm not your type? Baya said with a smile. You kept pushing me away previously, so I said that on purpose. I felt that you fit my expectations, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Because she was not good at saying sweet nothings, her face was slightly red. I'm quite mean and my words are not nice either, Baya said self-deprecatingly. Those who speak nice words must have something to gain from it. Even if it's not for profit, speaking nice words to everyone is too philanthropic. I will naturally be on guard against those who speak nice words. As for those who are mean, I feel that what you said is quite reasonable. It's not mean, right? Gu Lingqing explained. Baya giggled. I have a bad temper. It's Taba's customer service that has a good temper. I don't have a good temper either, so I naturally won't expect others to have a good temper. My figure isn't good either. Gu Lingqing took a sip of wine. You're too skinny. Baya. Gu Lingqing was too honest. However, she liked his sincerity. His words were truthful and trustworthy, which made her feel warm. Then I'll have to eat more so that you won't dislike me in the future, Baya teased. I don't have any requirements for a woman's figure. If they're thin, they'll be fat if they eat more. If they're fat, they'll be fat if they exercise more. If they're ugly, they can have plastic surgery. If they're beautiful, they'll have wrinkles when they're old. What I value is that we can communicate. I think it's good to communicate with you. Gu Lingqing's eyes were burning. He looked at her with burning eyes. These words were very useful to her. All of a sudden he felt his heart ache. If only Gu Lingqing found their child first. She didn't have to make a difficult choice. He would love their child and their family could live happily together. At worst, she could accept Zhou Hailan's child. After all, it was not Gu Lingqing's betrayal, but he did not know about it. Baya was too depressed in his heart, but he couldn't say it out loud, so he drank all the wine in the cup in one gulp. Drink slowly. It's not good for your health and you'll get drunk easily, Gu Lingqing said worriedly. When drinking with a bosom friend, 1,000 cups are not enough. I'm happy. I feel lucky to be able to be soulmates with the person I love. Gu Lingqing, you are an extraordinary man. Thank you for falling in love with me, who is full of flaws. Baya poured himself a glass of beer and raised his glass. Gu Lingqing touched her shoulder. When I couldn't find you, I tried my best to find my lost memory. When I found you, I didn't have any regrets when I found that memory. After all, you are by my side. Baya's heart ached even more. What if she died in an explosion 3 months later? The more Gu Lingqing loved her, the more pain he would feel. After knowing the truth, he would hate her even more. Baya wanted to drink all the wine in the cup again, but Gu Lingqing snatched the cup from her hand. We will drink together for a long time in the future. Don't drink like this. Take a sip. Baya only smiled with a smile of being spoiled. She had read a story before. The gist of it was that a woman who had been married for a long time felt that she was living in purgatory in front of her husband who didn't speak much. She searched for passion outside and met a handsome young fresh meat. At the same time, she reunited with her first love at a party. He was now a big boss with a successful career. All 3 men said that they loved her. She stood at the crossroads of her life and invited her first love and the young fresh meat to her house for hot pot. She wanted to have a showdown, to divorce, to make the final choice. During the meal, she was scalded by the oil in the hot pot, and her hands were red. The young fresh meat looked at her in a daze. Her first love asked her if she was okay. Her husband immediately went to the fridge to get some ice cubes and wrapped them in a towel. He held her hand and helped her to stop the pain. In an instant she understood who the man who loved her the most was. From then on, she returned to her family and took care of her husband and children. She was more patient, tolerant, and understanding. Gu Lingqing was such a person. He was a man of few words, cold and rigid, and was not good at expressing himself. However, his every move expressed his care and love. Gu Lingqing, I waited for you for 3 years. If I ask you to wait for me for 3 years, am I being stubborn? Baya asked with a smile. Gu Lingqing's eyes darkened, and he looked at her in confusion. What do you mean by that? What are you going to do if I wait for you for 3 years? Baya leaned on the table. I'm just saying. I don't want to. I'll go wherever you go. You're my legitimate wife. We'll have our wedding when we come back from Jianghuan in 3 months. Don't have any crooked ideas. Gu Lingqing was a little unhappy, and he drank the wine in his glass in one gulp. Baya was a little worried. What if she died? Would Gu Lingqing die with her? The waiter served the barbecue they ordered. Gu Lingqing blew on the chicken wing and passed it to her. Be careful, it's hot. Baya took it and took a bite absent-mindedly. You eat too. Baya's phone rang. She saw that it was Su Jiran calling. She suddenly felt annoyed and hung up the phone. Gu Lingqing took her phone and saw the name Su Jiran. He conveniently blacklisted Su Jiran. I don't think there's a need for you to keep in touch with him, Gu Lingqing said domineeringly. Baya felt a wave of warmth flowed through her heart. She followed Gu Lingqing's lead and said, That's true. I'll send you back after eating. It's getting late. Baya put her phone into her bag and she frowned and looked outside. Su Jiran's men couldn't be watching her all the time, could they? What are you looking at? Gu Lingqing asked suspiciously. I want to order some eggplant. It looks delicious. Baya found an excuse. You eat, I'll order for you. Gu Lingqing stood up and went to the ordering area. Baya took out her phone and sent a text message to Su Jiran. Gu Lingqing is here. I'm eating supper outside. I'll contact you tomorrow. After sending it, she deleted the text message. His heart was thumping, beating very fast. She felt guilty because she had done something bad, but she was more worried that Gu Lingqing's action would annoy Su Jiran. After eating, they went out and saw Su Jiran. He leaned against the car door and curled up the corner of his lips. His eyes were gloomy. He looked at Baya meaningfully and said, Xiaoya, you left in a hurry and left something at my place. Baya's heart skipped a beat. She frowned and looked at Su Jiran in confusion. What did he want to do? Chapter 238. A sharp look flashed past Baya's eyes. She was very unhappy. She stared at Su Jiran. I don't understand either, Su Jiran. What do you mean? Su Jiran smiled evilly. I'm just kidding. Don't take it seriously. I'm going to play cards with my friends nearby. I'll be leaving first. Su Jiran got in the car and drove away. Baya understood. He was just hinting at her that he was everywhere. I don't like him. Stay away from him in the future, Gu Lingqing said to Baya. I don't like him either, Baya said with certainty. The two of them went back. Gu Lingqing was driving. Baya leaned on the chair and looked at the night view outside the window. If you're tired, sleep first. I'll wake you up when we reach the military base, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Okay. Baya closed her eyes. There were too many thoughts and she couldn't fall asleep. She opened her eyes again. I'm thinking in fact the 5 people who slaughtered the village know each other. As long as we know one of them we can get the other 3 out. Do you want some benefits? Do you want to use the treasure to set up a trap? I have the same idea. There's no hurry. When I get that piece of land we'll have plenty of time to set it up, Fu Huang said in a low voice. Baya really felt that she and Gu Lingqing were very compatible. Their personalities were similar and their thoughts were the same. They could listen to each other's thoughts and would compromise for each other. They were soulmates in the truest sense. She wanted to tell Gu Lingqing about little Tian. Gu Lingqing, do you have any monitoring devices in your car? Baya asked tentatively. The car will be inspected after entering the military base. There might be monitoring devices installed when we leave the car. What's wrong? Gu Lingqing asked on purpose. I'm just asking. Baya didn't say anything else. She leaned on the chair and looked out of the window. She wanted to gamble for herself. She told Gu Lingqing about Xiaotian. If Gu Lingqing rescued Xiaotian, she could be with Xiaotian and would not have to leave Gu Lingqing. Their family would be very happy. What if he lost? Baya's heart skipped a beat. The image of little Tian being so careful and pitiful flashed across her mind, and her heart tightened. If he lost, Gu Lingqing would find a way, right? The car entered the military area. Gu Lingqing parked the car in the garage. Baiya saw that someone really went to check if there were any surveillance cameras in the car. As soon as they entered the house, the security officer ran over and reported, "Chief, we found a listening device under the base of your car." Gu Lingqing looked at Baiya. Baiya and Gu Lingqing looked at each other. "Let's deal with the Qin first. Is there anything strange in my apartment?" "The anti-surveillance in the apartment is normal," the security officer reported. Gu Lingqing held Baiya's hand and went back to the room. "Tell me, what are you hiding today?" "I went to Su Jiran's place this afternoon," Baiya said. "And then?" "He found Xiaotian, our child. Now our child is in his hands," Baiya said. There was a strange bitterness and guilt in her heart. "What did he ask you to do?" Gu Lingqing frowned. Her eyes sharpened, and there was a murderous look in them. "To choose between you and Xiaotian," Baiya explained. Now Gu Lingqing knew why she had been acting so strangely that day. "You made the right decision." Gu Lingqing walked towards the door. Baiya held Gu Lingqing's arm worriedly. "Su Jiran said that if I told you, he would take Xiaotian away so that I would never be able to find him. Gu Lingqing, I think Su Jiran has influence in your army. Don't act rashly. If I can't find Xiaotian, I won't be at ease for the rest of my life." Gu Lingqing turned to look at her. Her eyes were dark. "How much time did you buy from him?" 3 months. 3 months later he arranged for me to fake my death." Gu Lingqing sneered. She was full of disgust for Su Jiran. "He really has a way. He can even fake his death. I will arrange it. Don't worry, we will definitely save our child." Baiya couldn't be at ease. She knew that she was gambling. If she won, everyone would be happy. If she lost, she was really afraid that she couldn't bear it. Gu Lingqing saw through Baiya's worry. He went forward and gave her a light kiss on her forehead. "Just pretend that you didn't tell me anything. Do what you want to do. If you do this, Su Jiran will see through you." Baiya nodded. She knew that what Gu Lingqing said was right, but she couldn't control her worry. "Then I'll go pack my things first," Baiya said. She turned around and went to her room to pack her things. After a while, Gu Lingqing also came in. "Is it done?" Baiya asked worriedly. "I have a team of dark shadows. They come and go without a trace. I've already given the order." "What if Su Jiran's men are in the dark shadows? What should we do?" Baiya now trusted no one except Gu Lingqing. "This is a secret mission. It won't get out. Don't worry, I will let you know if there is any news. Don't worry, the child is ours. I will definitely save him. I swear," Gu Lingqing promised. Baiya was a little relieved. However, after lying on the bed, she still couldn't fall asleep as she tossed and turned. Gu Lingqing gently placed his hand on her waist and pulled her into his arms. "Xiaoya, have a good sleep. Only when you have a good sleep will you be able to fight with 100% of your energy. If you don't sleep now, you won't be of any help to us at all," Gu Lingqing said. Gu Lingqing's voice was deep with the hoarseness of the night. She knew that what he said was right. She tried to persuade herself, but she couldn't sleep. She just couldn't. "I'm going to the washroom." Baiya got up, took her bag, walked to the washroom and poured out a pill. She took the pill and looked at Gu Lingqing in the mirror. He looked at her worriedly. Baiya just smiled. "Sleeping pills. This kind of medicine will cause dependence if you take it for a long time. I will try to control it in the future, but not today. My thoughts are a little messy and I can't sleep." Baiya passed by Gu Lingqing and lay on the bed. Gu Lingqing lay behind her and hugged her. "How long have you been taking the sleeping pills?" "More than 3 years." Baiya didn't want to lie to him. Her head was very heavy, so she closed her eyes. Gu Lingqing frowned tightly and his eyes were dark. He kissed her forehead. "Don't take the medicine in the future. If you don't want to sleep, I won't sleep with you. Slowly it will get better." What answered Gu Lingqing was her light breathing. He didn't know if she was asleep or unconscious. Gu Lingqing's heart ached and his eyes were very deep. Chapter 239. When Baiya woke up, it was already 10 o'clock in the morning. Gu Lingqing wasn't by her side. She got up, brushed her teeth, washed her face and went out. Gu Lingqing wasn't in the living room either. She wanted to say goodbye to him before leaving, so she called Gu Lingqing. "When are you leaving?" Gu Lingqing asked her first. "In the afternoon, it's already 10 o'clock now. I'll leave after eating. Will you come back for dinner?" "If you come back for dinner, I'll cook for you," Baiya said softly. "Okay, I'll be there in an hour." Gu Lingqing hung up the phone and looked at the test report in his hands. There were two kinds of medicine in Baya's bag. One was sleeping pills and the other was chlorpromazine. The main ingredient in chlorpromazine's tranquilizer was mainly used to treat patients with mania and other mental disorders. Why would Baya carry this kind of medicine with her? He recalled that when Baya quarreled with him, she seemed to say that she was sick too. He thought that she was referring to the injury on her chest. Now, it seemed that the illness Baya was talking about might be a mental illness. What did he do in the past to hurt her so deeply? When Gu Lingqing arrived at the apartment, he smelled the aroma of food. He went to the kitchen. Baya was busy wearing an apron. He went forward and hugged her slender body. Baya turned around and looked at him. "You're back. I'm done here. Go to the dining table and sit down. I'll scoop up the food and you can eat." "Xianxia," Gu Lingqing called out in a low voice. Looking at her bright eyes and white teeth, his eyes were sparkling. "I won't let you down in the future." Baya's heart was filled with heat. "I know that you're a person who does what you say. Let's go out and eat. Have a taste of my cooking." "Let me take it, it's hot," Gu Lingqing said softly and let go of Baya. Baya watched as Gu Lingqing walked out with the dishes. Her eyes were red and somehow she felt bitter. Although Gu Lingqing had no memories of the past, she felt that the man she had always loved was back. Gu Lingqing put down the bowl and went back to the kitchen. Seeing her tears, she held her hand worriedly and said, "What's wrong? Was he scalded? I told you not to serve the dishes." He turned on the faucet and placed Baya's hand under the faucet to rinse it. Baya wanted to cry even more. "I wasn't scalded. I just thought of the past. The past you too." Gu Lingqing turned off the tap and dried her hands with a towel. "Maybe you've awakened my humanity. During the 3 years you were in America, I also felt that I was cold-blooded. We promised Tang Xiaojiu that we would help him find the murderer and bring the murderer to justice. If we don't find the murderer, we won't be together anymore. So we must find the murderer," Baya said as she wiped her tears. "Okay, we will definitely find the murderer," Gu Lingqing promised. Baya hugged Gu Lingqing and buried her face in his chest. She felt his warmth and his strong heartbeat. She had experienced 3 years after 3 years before she finally got together with him. In the future they would never be separated again. Gu Lingqing put his hand on her waist, and a dark look flashed across his eyes. "Xiaoya, did I hurt you deeply in the past? I was the one who couldn't get over it. It's good that you're back," Baya said in his arms. Gu Lingqing did not ask further. "I'll bring the dishes. I want to eat just by smelling the aroma. By the way, I made your favorite braised pork with preserved vegetables. Try it." Baya opened the steamer. "Let me carry it." Gu Lingqing covered her mouth with a towel and carried the braised pork with preserved vegetables out. She also made mapo tofu, kung pao chicken and white gourd pork ribs. Gu Lingqing tasted the braised pork with preserved vegetables. Baya looked at him eagerly. She wanted to know how he felt when he ate. Gu Lingqing nodded. "It's delicious. It tastes better than the food I ate near your school. I must have liked your cooking in the past." Baya smiled. "If you like it, I'll cook for you often." "And our child?" Gu Lingqing said as she ate a few mouthfuls of rice. Speaking of the child, Baya's heart skipped a beat. "How's the investigation going on your side? The child shouldn't be with Su Jiran, but my people will follow Su Jiran 24/7. As soon as Su Jiran goes to see our child, they'll immediately rescue him. What you need to do now is to keep your composure," Gu Lingqing explained. Baya nodded and accompanied Gu Lingqing to eat. Her phone rang. It was Zhou Hailan. She picked it up in front of Gu Lingqing. "Baya, hello. I'm Zhou Hailan. May I ask if you found my child?" Zhou Hailan asked softly. Baya thought for a moment. "I'm sorry. I don't have the time and mood for now. I'm going on a business trip. I'll be back in about 3 months. 3 months? I need 3 months. I'm sorry," Baya said in a low voice. "It's okay. I know. I'm just making things difficult for you." Zhou Hailan hung up the phone. She spoke gently, but Baya felt that she was quite pitiful. She looked at Gu Lingqing. "The person who called me just now was Zhou Hailan. You don't have to worry about her. I've already found a place for her to recuperate. When we're back in 3 months you can treat her. There are priorities. She'll understand. After all, this matter of hers can't be rushed," Gu Lingqing explained. "I heard a piece of news from Su Jiran. There's no need to talk about it. I can't tell if it's true or not. He's not easy to deal with. I don't trust him." Gu Lingqing interrupted Baya's words. Baya lowered her head and ate 2 mouthfuls of rice. She felt that she should say it out loud. Su Jiran said that Zhou Hailan has a child and the child is yours. That's impossible. I've never slept with Zhou Hailan, Gu Lingqing said with certainty. 6 years ago you raped me because I was drugged by the enemy. I fainted and didn't know what happened. Su Jiran said that they took your sperm and impregnated Zhou Hailan so that she could give birth to your child. He then threatened you. Whether the child is yours or not, you just have to go for a DNA test. Bai Ye said as she looked at Gu Lingqing's expression. Gu Lingqing held Bai Ye's hand. No matter who the child is, you're in my heart. I'll never let you down. She heard what Gu Lingqing said just now. Bai Ye held Gu Lingqing's hand in return. I'm your wife. That's your child. Although the way he came to this world is a little special, if you decide to put that child by your side, I'll treat him as my own child and treat him wholeheartedly. Xiaoya, Gu Lingqing called. He remembered that Bai Ye said before that she couldn't tolerate a grain of sand in her eyes. Bai Ye felt that the signal on his phone wasn't good. Therefore he said what he wanted to express. Alright, goodbye. She hung up the phone and leaned back in her chair, half lying down. In the past, she thought that the person Gu Lingqing liked was Zhou Hailan. She didn't care if Gu Lingqing missed her or not. If he missed her, she would feel embarrassed. Her pride couldn't take it. Now she knew that the person Gu Lingqing liked was her. There were still some beautiful and charming memories between her and Gu Lingqing. She wanted him to remember that their days in the future would only get better day by day. Bai Ye's lips twitched as she closed her eyes. The train traveled for more than 3 hours. At 17:30 p.m. Bai Ye's phone rang. She saw that it was Qing Jinrong's call and picked it up. What's up? Have you arrived at Jianghu City? Qing Jinrong asked enthusiastically. Not yet. I'm on the train. When will you arrive? I will pick you up at the train station and book a hotel for you, Qing Jinrong said with a smile. There's no need. I have already booked a room online. Thank you. Since you've already booked a room, I won't force you. However, since this is your first time coming to Jianghu City, I must treat you to dinner. Otherwise it would be rude of me. After all, you came to Jianghu City because of me. Bai Ye smiled. You're right. You are the one who introduced me to this big business. I should treat you to dinner. I will arrive at Jianghu City in about an hour. Come and pick me up. I will treat you to dinner. Let's talk about it when we meet. How could Qing Jinrong let a girl treat him? Bai Ye hung up the phone. Actually, she had a good impression of Qing Jinrong. He was just a businessman, and his ex-girlfriend's father was an expert in geography. She would need his help eventually. An hour later, Bai Ye dragged her luggage out of the train station. Qing Jinrong waved at her enthusiastically when he saw her. Bai Ye smiled and walked towards Qing Jinrong. He took Bai Ye's luggage from her. I will take you to dinner first. After that, I will send you back to the hotel. This is your first time in Jianghu City, right? Bai Ye smiled and did not say a word. She had been to Jianghu City 3 years ago. At that time, Gu Lingqing was on a mission in Jianghu City. It was in Jianghu City that Gu Lingqing lost her memory. Bai Ye almost died. Jianghu City was the place where she was sad. Qing Jinrong placed the luggage in the trunk and opened the door to the front passenger seat. Bai Ye sat down and fastened her seatbelt. Qing Jinrong got into the driver's seat and introduced to Bai Ye. Jianghu City's lion's head and bamboo-wrapped pork are delicious. The most famous restaurant for these two dishes is Savant's restaurant. Do you have any taboos? No. Bai Ye said calmly. She looked ahead and paused for a while. Then she asked, is your ex-girlfriend's father the best researcher in ancient addresses? Is there anyone else? It's a circle. People in the circle know people in the circle. My ex-girlfriend's father knows more about this. Bai Ye glanced at him and asked casually, why did you break up with your ex-girlfriend? I have a bad temper. She couldn't stand it after a long time, so she broke up with me. I agreed, Qing Jinrong said concisely. Bai Ye smiled. Does your current girlfriend know about your ex-girlfriend's existence? Qing Jinrong was silent for a while. Are you trying to dissect me? From your expression, I can tell that you are a little regretful. You probably have feelings for your ex-girlfriend. You are still in contact with her father and they are very friendly. This can only mean that your ex-girlfriend or her family also has feelings for you. So, I'm very curious. Does your girlfriend know about it? Qing Jinrong's face turned serious. She knows. My girlfriend is my ex-girlfriend's best friend and also my subordinate. Qing Jinrong explained and looked at Bai Ye. But when I went to City A to look for you, I broke up with my girlfriend. I'm single now. Looks like you will get back together with your ex-girlfriend? Baya guessed. Qing Jinrong's eyes flashed with a strange emotion. We'll see. His phone rang and he picked it up. Baya saw that he did not look well. Qing Jinrong hung up and looked at Baya. I'm sorry I can't treat you to dinner. My ex-girlfriend was murdered. Chapter 241. I'll go with you. I've helped the FBI solve a case before. I hope I can help you. Consider it a report for introducing the client to you, Baya said. First of all, that was what she thought. Second of all, Qing Jinrong's ex-girlfriend's father had a special identity. She wanted to use this opportunity to get to know him better. Sorry to trouble you, Qing Jinrong said apologetically. It's okay. Half an hour later, Qing Jinrong appeared at the private housing area in the city center. Baya observed her surroundings. The outer walls of the private houses here looked very old, and each house was 20 meters apart. These people had fences in front of their houses, sat in a parking space and even planted vegetables. There were street lights and surveillance cameras. The police came to Qing Jinrong's ex-girlfriend's house and even set up a fence. Qing Jinrong wanted to go in but was stopped by the police. The police said sternly, "The police are collecting evidence. This is the crime scene. Do not approach. I'm the deceased boyfriend. I have the right to see her," Qing Jinrong said angrily. Jinrong, Jinrong, the deceased's mother shouted. Qing Jinrong ignored the police and rushed in. Baya followed behind Qing Jinrong. The police hesitated and Baya went in. Jinrong Xiaowei died so tragically. Who wants to kill her? Xiaowei's mother cried. Where is Xiaowei? Qing Jinrong asked seriously. In the room, Xiaowei's father frowned and lowered his head. Baya glanced at Xiaowei's father's face. He was smoking and his hand was trembling. Old man, who is it? Who wants to kill our daughter? We don't have any grudges with them. Xiaowei's mother couldn't figure it out. Xiaowei's father had a complicated look in his eyes. I'm going to wash the cigarette. Baya looked at Qing Jinrong. Qing Jinrong had already entered the room. Xiaowei was lying on the bed. She was stabbed in the heart. She was holding her phone tightly. The room was not messy at all and there were no signs of a fight. Qing Jinrong wanted to hug Xiaowei but was stopped by the police. Don't touch the deceased. You will destroy the evidence. Qing Jinrong paused and looked at Baya. His eyes were red. Is that so? Baya nodded. Don't touch the evidence at the crime scene. The more the better. In order to find the murderer as soon as possible, please leave, the police shouted. Qing Jinrong walked out of the room in a daze. Jinrong, you must help Xiaowei find the murderer, Xiaowei's mother said as she held Qing Jinrong's hand. We'll definitely find it, Qing Jinrong comforted her and looked at Baya pleadingly. Baya nodded and went out. She saw Xiaowei's father on the phone. He was so emotional that he even smashed his phone and hit his head against a tree. Xiaotang, he said. Xiao 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 ya. Gu xiao. Baya. Qing I'm. Xiao, Qing Yin, Lu Qing, Qing. Su. Not yet. Qing Jinrong's ex-girlfriend is dead, Baya said solemnly. She glanced at Xiaowei's father, who was still banging his head against the tree. I don't think it's LV Xingzhou. Firstly, the project is about to start. If something happens now, it will affect the progress of the project. Secondly, they still need the deceased's father, the geologist. They won't do anything to his daughter, Gu Lingqing guessed. I think the same as you, but I can't see clearly because I'm closely involved. I've observed Xiaowei's father. He feels very guilty, remorseful, and angry. I think he might go to the police station to report LV Xingzhou. Baya walked toward Xiaowei's father. It's impossible for him to report LV Xingzhou. The most he can do is to negotiate with LV Xingzhou. If he does that, not only will he alert the enemy, but he will also hide the murderer even deeper, Gu Lingqing said anxiously. I know, Gu Lingqing. Go to Jinyuan City's police station and tell them that I want to intervene in this matter, Baya said. He hung up and ran toward Xiaowei's father. Uncle, don't be like this. Baya held onto Xiaowei's father. Xiaowei's father was agitated. I did this to myself and went against my conscience to earn money. But Xiaowei is innocent. My daughter doesn't even dare to kill a fish. Why must God be so cruel to her? She's only 25 years old, she's in her prime. Uncle, calm down. Give me 3 days. I'll definitely help you find the murderer, Baya promised. Xiaowei's father looked at Baya in astonishment. How can you help me find the murderer? Who are you? I don't know you. My name is Baya. You can find my information on the internet. I've helped the FBI solve several major cases. I've also assisted many police departments in solving cases. I promise you that I'll find the murderer within 3 days, Baya explained. Xiao Wei's father looked at Baya suspiciously. I'm also Qing Jinrong's friend. On the way here, Jinrong told me that he still has feelings for Xiao Wei. Xiao Wei is Qing Jinrong's lover. I'll definitely find the murderer, Baya continued when he saw that Xiao Wei's father didn't trust him. Xiao Wei's father looked at the door and met Qing Jinrong's gaze. Qing Jinrong sensed that something was wrong. He walked over and asked, Uncle, what happened to your forehead? Your girlfriend's father banged his head against a tree. He's too emotional, Baya explained. Uncle, Baya is a famous expert. She can definitely help us find the murderer. Don't be too emotional, Qing Jinrong comforted. Give me 3 days, Baya said in a deep voice. Xiao Wei's father nodded. All right, I'll calm down first. I want to see who killed my daughter. I want him to die with her. I'll send him back to the house first, Qing Jinrong explained to Baya. He put his arm around Xiao Wei's father's shoulder and went back to the room. Baya felt that there was not much point in staying. She would see all the evidence that the police had collected tomorrow. She was not familiar with Qing Jinrong, and she was even less familiar with Xiao Wei's family. It would only be awkward if she stayed. Also, since Qing Jinrong knew that there was treasure on that piece of land, he would not let Xiao Wei's father act rashly. However, he did not know that Lu Xingzhou and Lu Liang City were in cahoots. The company was also from Lu Liang City. In the end, his efforts would be in vain. Baya did not enter the room. She got on the taxi and sent a message to Qing Jinrong. I'll go back first. I'll contact you tomorrow. All right. Sorry. I wanted to treat you to a meal, but I made you hungry, Qing Jinrong replied politely. I understand. You didn't want to. Baya went to the hotel that Gu Lingqing had booked. She went back to her room and laid on the bed tiredly. She thought of Gu Lingqing and called him. Have you reached the hotel? Gu Lingqing asked. Chapter 242. I'm already handling the paperwork. It should be approved within 3 days. I'll use my connections tomorrow, and it should be approved in the afternoon. I'll call you after it's approved. If there are no problems, I should be at your place tomorrow, Gu Lingqing said. Baya smiled. She was quite excited at the thought of him coming tomorrow. They had just separated today, but she felt that they had been separated for a long time. Have you eaten? Baya asked with concern. Yes, I've eaten. I've already made a call. Xuanhuan City's police chief will pick you up at the entrance tomorrow. You'll be in charge of this case. All right. I'll tell you the details tomorrow after I read the documents. I've checked today and there are surveillance cameras outside their room. If the surveillance cameras are not broken, not only will it be easy to find the culprit, there might even be a surprise. Okay, Gu Lingqing replied. There's still 1 minute left. Open the door. Ah. Baya couldn't stop her heart from beating wildly. Could it be that Gu Lingqing was here? She couldn't wait to get out of bed. She walked to the door and looked through the peephole. There was no one. You're here today? Baya asked directly. No, I guess that you must have not eaten yet. Xuanhuan City's lion's head, bamboo-wrapped pork, and roasted pigeon are pretty good. I've booked a table at Savant's restaurant for you. Don't skip meals in the future, Gu Lingqing said gently. When did you book the table? So fast. Baya was surprised. I made the decision after I talked to you on the phone. I guess that you would return to the hotel first. Lion's head and bamboo-wrapped pork are the famous dishes of Savant's restaurant. They've already prepared them. The pigeon is also half-ripe, so it'll be very fast. Just as Gu Lingqing finished his sentence, the doorbell rang. Gu Lingqing laughed. Baya could clearly hear his laughter through the phone. I should be here. If you want to eat and can't sleep after eating, you're welcome to call me. Gu Lingqing's voice was filled with affection. Baya felt warm in her heart. He was so considerate of her. How could she bear to keep him up from sleeping? Got it? Baya answered, hung up the phone and opened the door. A man in uniform stood at the door and said politely, Hello, your takeout. Thank you. Baya took the food and placed it on the table before opening it. Gu Lingqing ordered a bamboo-wrapped pork, a meatball, a roasted pigeon, a mapo tofu and a bottle of milk for her. This man was as meticulous as dust. She smiled, full of happiness, and ate a lot. He took a shower and went to bed. He didn't call Gu Lingqing. Instead, he turned on the TV and watched casually. His cell phone rang. She saw that it was an unfamiliar caller ID and answered it suspiciously. What do you mean by this? Did you blacklist me? Did you change your mind? Su Jiran went straight to the point. Gu Lingqing blocked him, Baya explained. Aren't you separated from Gu Lingqing now? Why are you so obedient to him? Why did you blacklist him even after you separated? Su Jiran said sarcastically. Aren't you very resourceful? I just arrived in Jianghu City today. My friend's ex-girlfriend died, so I've long forgotten that you're on the blacklist, Baya said in an unpleasant tone. Baya, don't tell me that you asked me for 3 more months just to cure LV Xingzhou's son? Su Jiran was suspicious. He promised me so much money. I'm going to be with my son in the future, so I must earn more money. Baya didn't deny it. You better not have any other ideas. Otherwise, I might not be able to protect you. Xiaotian misses you. Do you want a video chat with him? Su Jiran said the second half of the sentence in a gentle tone. Yes. Baya immediately sat up on the bed. Answer it, Su Jiran said. Baya immediately accepted the video call and saw the little person on the screen. Mom, I miss you so much. Why didn't you come to see me today? Xiaotian asked in a childish voice. I'm sorry, Xiaotian. I'm on a business trip in Jianghu City. I'll be back in 3 months. At that time we can be together every day. Baya kept staring at Xiaotian. Mom, look at the painting I drew today. Xiaotian placed the painting in front of the camera. Baya saw the golden sun, green trees, red apples, green lawns, colorful flowers and colorful butterflies in the painting. On a road, a man, a woman and a child walked hand in hand. The woman had the word Mom written on it, the child had the word Me written on it, and the man had the word Daddy Sue written on it. Baya took a deep breath. Children's thoughts were very simple. They could express their emotions through painting. When the painting was colorful, it meant that they were in a good mood. When the painting was dark and colorless, it meant that they were in a bad mood. Su Jiran treated him well. But she believed that Gu Lingqing would treat Xiaotian better. After all, Xiaotian was her and Gu Lingqing's child. Well done, Baya praised. Mom, Dad Su not only let me paint but he also taught me martial arts. In the future I can not only protect myself, but I can also protect you, Xiaotian said sweetly. Xiaotian, where are you now? Baya asked. Before Xiaotian could say anything the video call was hung up. Baya was annoyed. I shouldn't have been so hasty. Su Jiran sent another video call. Baya answered. Seeing that it was Su Jiran and not Xiaotian, she couldn't hide her deep disappointment. Where did you take Xiaotian? Su Jiran sneered. He picked up a syringe and waved it in front of the camera. Baya, do you know what this is? What's this? Baya was nervous. To put it simply, it's a virus. The person who is injected with it will live a life worse than death. In the end, he will bleed to death from his 7 orifices. So, don't have any weird ideas. Xiaotian can't take it, Su Jiran warned. Su Jiran, are you crazy? Xiaotian likes you so much. Why are you so cruel to him? Baya said anxiously. I like you so much. Are you cruel to me too? As long as you don't have any weird ideas, me, you and Xiaotian, the 3 of us will live happily together. Su Jiran forced a smile. That smile was meaningful. It was as if he had seen through something. He just didn't say it and waited for her to jump in. Baya's heart skipped a beat. Xiaotian was in his hands. It was difficult for her to move. What if she had something on Su Jiran? Then her chances of winning would be higher. I know. That's all for now. I'm sleepy. Good night. Baya didn't wait for Su Jiran to speak. She hung up the phone and threw it on the bedside table. Her good mood turned sour again because of Su Jiran's call. You're tuning in to the Sword Dance in the Vast Sky YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.